Hello and good evening, everyone. We are appropriately the campus of Western Hills High School here on the west side of Cincy. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Welcome into another presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Well, Riley, last night the Steam and the Scouts got together for a baseball game up in Xenia, and the Scouts were finally able to get a win, defeating the Steam by a final of 3-1.
And boy, did they need a win. We've been talking about the 14-game losing streak and the big stretch that they've been on. They needed a win. They got a win against one of the best teams in the GLSCL. Very good to see the Scouts get that dub.
What a performance it was for the right-hander Sam Drawley. He ends up going 7 innings, giving up 1 run on 6 hits while striking out 5 and only walking 2 batters. And then Owen Pyatt came on. He struck out 4 batters in 2 innings of work as he was able to pick up the save. One of the better pitching performances. I'd probably say the best pitching performance, Riley, that we have seen from both a Scout starter and reliever.
Oh, yeah, the overall pitching performance, Pyatt and Drawley, they did a very good job working together through 9 innings. Sam had elite 7 innings of work, allowed 1 run, and it wasn't earned. And we have not seen that from the Scouts pitching staff at all. Usually the starters run into some trouble around the 4th or 5th inning, maybe even earlier. The Scouts have just not had too many good starts. Sam gave him a great one, and Pyatt came in and just shut the door.
So the Scouts get a win last night, and with that win for the Scouts, by the way, they reached 10 wins, so they're finally off the schneid in terms of being one of the few teams in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League still left with single-digit wins. Now they're into the double digits, thank goodness. But in the meantime, some action atop the Southern Division. So the team that the Scouts are taking on tonight, the Cincinnati Steam, they are in a dead tie atop the division with the Southern Ohio Copperheads. Copperheads are slightly ahead of the Steam by percentage points. Southern Ohio 27-10, Cincinnati 28-11. So this is an important game for the Steam as they look to take home another Southern Division title. But let's face it, Riley, at this point, with Xenia already out of the playoff mix, I think the Scouts would like nothing more than to knock the Steam from atop their perch.
And when you're knocked out of playoff contention, that's the next best thing to do. Muddy up the pot, make other teams have to work harder to make the playoffs or get that first round bye like the Steam are trying to get. There's no greater reward. You get that win. You also muddy up the standings a little bit.
Playing the role of spoiler. That is what the Scouts plan on doing tonight. And oh, by the way, not the only division title that's still up for grabs in the GLSCL. We'll be keeping track of scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League all night long because in the Northern Division, St. Clair is now your leader in the Northern Division. They lead Lima by a half game, followed by Saginaw, who is now only a game behind St. Clair. So that has turned into a little bit of a 3-team race right there. Again, we will keep you updated with scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League as the night progresses. But in the meantime, we're getting set for another presentation of Xenia Scouts baseball here tonight. It promises to be a beautiful night for baseball here on a Friday night, the third to last game of the 2018 campaign for the Scouts. We will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a starting lineups and we'll have baseball here at Max McCleary Field. You're listening and watching a presentation of Xenia Scouts baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We are ready for some baseball here at Max McCleary Field. Hello again, everybody. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Welcome into this presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Let's go ahead and get you the starting lineups first for your Scouts. Batting leadoff and playing in center field is Cam Murray. The right fielder, Chandler Chambers, will bat second. Caleb Eater, the first baseman, will bat third. Ryan Bertelsman, the designated hitter, will bat fourth. Nick Tuttle, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Grant Walsh will play left field, and he'll bat sixth. Truman Brown will be at third base, so bat seventh. Zach Bacon, the second baseman, will bat eighth. And finally, Felix King, he'll do the catching, and he'll be batting ninth for Xenia. The starting lineup for the Steam looks like this. Sebastian Fabic is the center fielder. He'll lead off things. Marshall Gee, the catcher, will bat second. Eddie Persinger, the designated hitter, will bat third. The third baseman, Griffin Bernardo, will bat fourth. Ryan Fernier, the left fielder, will bat fifth. Aaron Levy, the second baseman, will bat sixth. Thomas Bennett, the shortstop, will bat seventh. Jonathan Bruce, the right fielder, will bat eighth. And Jacob Abbott, he'll be at first base tonight, and he will be the number 9 hitter. On the mound for the Steam tonight is the right-hander Alex Franzen. Franzen is making his 6th start of the season. This is the 9th overall game in which he has pitched for Cincinnati. He comes in with a record of 4-1. An earned run average of 4.37. He has pitched 35 innings this season for the Steam, and in those 35 innings pitched, he has struck out 38 and walked 11. So now Cam Murray will come to the plate, the Youngstown State Penguin, as we get set for what should be a beautiful night of baseball here on the west side of the Queen City of Cincinnati. Murray waiting on the pitch from Franzen. And that is down low for a ball. And we're right on time at 7:05. Franzen will deliver a strike to Murray. Murray on the season, a .311 batter, a homer, and 10 knocked in. Looking to get things started for the Scouts here offensively. The pitch. And that's in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On the leadoff man, Cam Murray.
Franzen's thrown a couple curveballs Murray's way, so let's see if he comes back with it again.
Murray thought about swinging at that pitch, but outside, checked his swing. They will appeal down to first, and he did not swing. So it'll now be a 2 ball, 2 strike count for Cam Murray. Oh, the sky overhead, bright blue. Plenty of white puffy clouds, and the temperatures, they'll dip into the 60s tonight. It'll be a great night for baseball as that pitch is outside for a ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Cam Murray with a full count against the right-hander Franzen. Franzen looks in for a sign. He has it and throws, and that is inside for a ball. Leadoff walk for Cam Murray. I'll now bring Chandler Chambers to the plate, 250 batter. No homers and 11 knocked in. Chambers from Lipscomb University. Stepping into the right-handed batter's box. The Scouts have decided to go with their gray pants and their light blue jersey tops. The pitch, that's inside for a ball. Meanwhile, the Steam, traditional white jersey, white pants, blue cap. Those are the uniforms that the hometown Steam picked to wear tonight. The 1-0. Chambers takes back the bunt attempt. Snap throw over to first. Murray back in plenty of time. Defense for Cincinnati looks like this. Marshall Gee is the catcher. First baseman is Abbott. Second baseman Levy. Third baseman Bernardo. The shortstop is Bennett. And then left field to right field, that'd be Fernier, Fabic, and Bruce. Another bunt attempt, throw over to first. Murray now caught in a pickle. From the first baseman to the shortstop, back to the first baseman. And Murray is going to be tagged up. 1 gone in the inning. So Murray will end up being tagged out by the second baseman, Levy. 1 gone. And boy, Riley, I don't know what he was thinking there.
Yeah, he just got off a little too far. I thought Chambers might have had that bunt down. Chambers really went out for that bunt. And Murray just thought he might have gotten it down, try to get a little head start on it. And for being greedy, he got thrown out.
So now Chambers working with a 2-1 count. Here is the pitch, and he'll swing and miss at that one. Chambers will, as the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. And this is popped up, out of play, off to the right.
All right, fans, those foul balls that end up in the concourse area, if you turn them into the concession stand, you will get a reward.
So Chambers back in again. Once again, the 2-2. And that's fouled off to the left, out towards the Xenia dugout. Scouts dugout to our left, Steam dugout to our right. Now, thankfully, we are in a much better position tonight, equipment-wise, than the last time we were up here. The last time, that was all the way back on July the 4th. As Chambers swings and misses at that one, he'll go down swinging, 2 gone. Just to continue my point, Riley, you and I were up here for the 4th of July, and because of a wire issue, we had to stop our broadcast in the middle of the third, so hopefully everything will cooperate from an equipment standpoint here tonight. So far, we are off to a flying start.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating. It was very early in this game. Scouts even had the lead, I think, when the power cord went out, but unfortunate. But we got through it, and we got a new power cord, and hopefully that problem won't happen again.
So now Caleb Beater, he's down 0-1 in the count. 319 batter, a homer, 9 knocked in. He'll take a pitch outside for a ball. 1-1 the count on Caleb Beater. The pitch. Swung on and missed. As Franzen moves ahead on the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's looking for a 1-2-3 inning to start off this game. Franzen, the right-hander, throws, and that swung on and missed. A drop third strike. They'll throw down to first to complete the strikeout. And it is indeed a 1-2-3 inning for the Steam right-hander, Alex Franzen. Scouts nothing. Steam coming to bat in the bottom of the first here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We are heading to the bottom half of the first. Scouts went down 1-2-3, and now the Steam, they will come to bat for the very first time this evening. They will take on the right-hander Diego Quinones. Diego, pitching in his 10th game overall, making his 5th start of the season for Xenia. Comes in to this game with a record of 1-1, earned run average of 9.64. In 23 and a third innings pitched, he has walked 33, and he has struck out 16. Maybe, just maybe, Riley, this can be the start where Diego kind of puts it all together, limits those command issues, and perhaps goes out and pitches a good game, much like Sam Drawley did last night.
Yeah, it would be great to see Diego, coming from all the troubles he's had this summer to finally bring it all together and have a good start. And, that's what needs to be on the mind, because I said to Sam last night when we were talking to him, this is this could be your last appearance for the summer, the last time you're pitching for these guys and for the guys around you. So you have to try to put it all out there. You want to leave a good taste in their mouths, leave a good memory, and also just finish the summer strong.
By the way, I want to give you a score update. A game that started earlier today. Saginaw playing host to Grand Lake. Right now, the Mariners are beating the Sugar Beets in that one, 15-8. It's kind of important because the Sugar Beets, they hold that third and final playoff spot in the Northern Division, as Quinones will pitch inside, and that will be a ball to Sebastian Fabic, the center fielder. Quinones with the pitch. Inside once again, 2-0 the count on Fabic. Saginaw, 1 game behind St. Clair in the Northern Division. Right now, it's the Green Giants who lead that division. As that pitch is in there for a call strike, 2-1 the count on Fabic. But if Saginaw loses that game, they will lose valuable ground with only two more days of baseball left here in the regular season before the playoffs begin on Tuesday, July 31st. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fabic. Diego rocks and deals outside. And now we'll go full 3-2. Playoff pitch. And, that hit Fabic right there on the helmet. So Fabic will reach via being hit by a pitch. As Marshall Gee will now come to the plate.
Now letting you steam the catcher for the University of Kentucky, number 22, Marshall Gee.
The pitch outside gets away from Felix King, the catcher. And now Fabic will advance to second. That'll be a pass ball on King, the catcher. Might as well tell you about the rest of the Scouts' defensive lineup. So King is behind the plate. Meanwhile, Truman Brown's at third, Nick Tuttle's at short, Bacon at second, Eater at first. And then the outfielders tonight, Chambers in right, Murray in center, and Welch in left. As Diego delivers the ball. 2-0 the count now. On Marshall Gee, the catcher. 2-0 pitch, outside, 3-0 the count. Now on Gee, who enters play with a .338 batting average, 3 homers, and 10 knocked in. And boy, right out of the chute, Riley, the control issues are rearing their ugly heads for Diego Quinones.
Yeah, he just can't really seem to find the zone. He just needs to settle down, bear down in the strike zone, just focus in. He just needs to find those mechanics.
Pitch is in there for a strike, 3-1 the count. Diego looking in for a sign. He has it from Felix King. And Tuttle was trying to sneak in behind the runner at second, Fabic. Now Quinones will get back on the rubber. Once again, Diego peering in for his sign. This is a long look in by the Scouts right-hander. He finally sets at the belt. 3-1, outside. That'll be a walk for Gee. So now Eddie Persinger, the designated hitter, will come to the plate.
Number 21, Eddie Persinger.
Persinger, a left-handed batter against the right-handed throwing Quinones. And the pitch is way outside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Persinger. Persinger, 326 batters, 7 homers, and 41 knocked in. He is looking to get the steam off to a rollicking start here. They already have runners at first and second. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first. The pitch as swung on. It's a base hit into right field. They're going to wave around Fabic. He's heading towards home plate, and Fabic will score. That's an RBI single for Eddie Persinger as Cincinnati jumps out to an early 1-0 lead.
We sound like a broken record, but that's what's been happening with these Scout starters. They allow base runners via walks, hit by pitches, allow those free base runners, and they try to slow everything down, to get that control down. And when you slow it down, it's a lot easier to hit the ball when it's not going as fast, and hits happen just like Persinger did there. He drove in a run.
So now Griffin Bernardo will come to the plate for Cincinnati. 372 batters, 6 homers, 39 RBIs on the 2018 campaign. Diego with the pitch. That's down low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Diego has yet to throw a first pitch strike in this game so far. Not a good recipe for success if you're constantly falling behind hitters. The pitch swung on, and that'll be a base hit into center field. And that'll get by Cam Murray. It'll roll all the way to the wall. One run is in as Gee scores. They're also going to wave around Persinger. This will be a 2-run triple for Griffin Bernardo. A 3-0 lead for Cincinnati. The route taken by Cam Murray did not work that time. As the ball got away from him, rolled all the way to the center field wall. It allows 2 more runs to score. And oh boy, the Steam, they've got the bats working here so far tonight.
Yeah, Murray didn't take the greatest angle on that ball. You got to try to loop around to get behind that ball. And Murray just took a straight route to try to cut it off and didn't work out for him and ended up getting behind him.
Now a foul back. Oh, 1 pitch on the way to Fernier. He'll now take a strike on the outside corner. Fernier playing in left field tonight for Cincinnati. 264 batter, 5 homers, 31 knocked in. So standing at third is Bernardo. And that's swung on and missed. Strike 3. Diego with his first strikeout of the night. 1 gone.
I actually believe they called a foul ball on that by Ferner because he's still in there.
So Fernier stays alive. 0-2 pitch. And that's outside. 1-2 the count. So an early 3-0 lead for Cincinnati. Thanks to an RBI single by Eddie Persinger and then a 2-run triple by Griffin Bernardo. The pitch. 1-2 is fouled at the plate. So Fernier once again is able to stay alive just barely. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, there's still a lot of ball left to be played here in Cincinnati, but in the meantime, Diego has just got to find a way to limit the damage here in the first inning.
And he still doesn't have any outs, so he definitely needs to try to get this out here on Ferner without Bernardo moving from third.
1-2 pitch inside. Count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ryan Fernier. Aaron Levy waiting on deck for the Steam. They have not turned on the lights here at McCleary Field, but right now, field completely covered by shadow. The pitch, down low, gets away from King. King retrieves it, throw to home plate, not in time. Bernardo scores from third, and now it's a 4-0 lead for the Steam.
We've seen plenty of wild pitches from Diego this year, and there's just another one scoring around, but he has to forget about that. Ferner now has a full count. Diego does not want to lose him. He needs to try to get this out, and now that he has the bases empty, he needs to get this out and just keep focusing on one batter at a time.
Here comes the payoff pitch to Fernier. And this will be a fly ball. Deep center. Murray chasing after it, and he'll make the catch. No, he'll drop it. That will hit at the base of the wall, and Fernier will go into second. Boy, this has been a very tough inning for Cam Murray. First, he takes a bad route to a ball that turns into a 2-run triple, and now he drops a ball near the warning track, which results in extra bases for Fernier. That will go down as an error against Cam Murray, E8.
And it looked like Murray just took his eye off the ball for a split second there, and that ended up being the difference. He didn't quite look it all the way into the glove, and the ball dropped.
Boy, no way to sugarcoat it. This has been a nightmare first inning for the Scouts. The pitch, that's a foul ball off to the right. It began with Fabic, the leadoff man, being hit by a pitch. That was followed by a Marshall Gee walk, then an RBI single by Eddie Persinger, a 2-run triple, then by Griffin Bernardo, and then just moments ago, Bernardo scoring on a wild pitch from third. Meanwhile, Fernier just now reaching via a fielding error by the center fielder Cam Murray. 0-1. Fouled off to the left. No balls, 2 strikes now on Aaron Levy, the second baseman.
It makes you wonder how we've been talking about the Scouts pitching depth, and it hasn't gotten any better this week. So after Quinones, you got to wonder who's Lesser going to turn to, especially with Quinones struggling here early.
Runner going. Pitch outside. Throw to third. Not in time. That's a stolen base for Fernier. He got a big jump that time, did Fernier, as he was able to easily steal that base.
And he got that jump because Diego wasn't really looking back at him at second. He got a big lead, got a good jump, easily took third. Diego's got to do a better job of keeping those runners honest on the base paths.
Quinones looking in for a sign. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Outside. 2-2 the count. And now the ball gets away from Diego on the throwback from Felix King. Boy, oh boy, man, this has just been a bizarre inning for the Scouts. You know, believe it or not, I've actually seen a game end on a similar play like that. As Quinones will rock and deal, and that pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. I'll tell you where it happened. It was a Major League Baseball game. The Angels were at the A's in Oakland. And Francisco Rodriguez, the man that they called K-Rod, as Thomas Bennett, the shortstop, digs in for the steam. K-Rod had just gotten done throwing a pitch. His catcher threw the ball back to him. He wasn't able to catch it. Runner came in from third. A's won on a walk-off, I guess you could call it mistake by Rodriguez. One of the more bizarre innings I have ever seen in a baseball game. The pitch. That's in there for a strike. 0-2 the count now to Thomas Bennett. Here's the 0-2. And that hits Bennett on the arm. Second time this inning that Quinones has hit a batter.
And you definitely don't want to hit a guy when you got 2 strikes on him. You're ahead like that, and now runners on the corners, 1 out. Just makes the situation harder for Diego. He's got to do a better job of helping himself out up there on the mound. You get ahead of somebody. You don't just give him that free base. You really got to focus in every pitch. Find your spots.
And now Jonathan Bruce will come to the plate. He's the 8th batter of the inning for this team. The pitch. That's on the outside corner for a call strike. Bruce in right field tonight for Cincinnati. 322 batter, 2 homers, and 22 knocked in. 4 runs already in for the Steam here in the bottom half of the first. Cincinnati with a 4-0 lead. Runner going from first to second. Throw down to second. Gets away from Tuttle. Bounces into center field. Coming in to score from third is Fernier. 5 runs now for Cincinnati as the Steam lead 5-zip.
This looks like a ending out of a Bad News Bears movie. What the Scouts have been doing right now, just wild pitches, walks, errors. It's been a little bit of everything. It's just been a lot of negative in this first inning. They're going to have to rebound. There's a lot of baseball still left to play.
Boy, to say that the Scouts have looked sloppy in the field tonight is an understatement. 1-1 pitch. That's outside for a ball. 2-1 the count. And Riley, you know what? We've covered this team. Yes, they've gone through a tough stretch recently, but I think one of the things that the Scouts typically hang their hats on is that they have a pretty solid defense tonight. That has not been the case so far.
And it really hurts mentally when you're making mistakes out in the field like that, when it's usually one of your strong points.
2-1 pitch. Way outside, and boy, King was lucky that he caught that one and didn't allow him to go to the backstop. 3 balls, 1 strike. And now you really have to wonder, is Jason Lester going to have to get someone else warmed up in the pen?
And an even better question is who?
3-1 pitch. Outside. Gets away from King. Bounces around as Bennett will move up to third. So walk to Bruce, and now Jacob Abbott, the number 9 hitter. He'll get a chance to bat here in the bottom half of the first. A 5-0 lead for Cincinnati. And boy, I'm looking at the Scouts dugout right now, and a lot of long faces. So now Abbott will come to the plate for Cincinnati. 278 batter, no homers, 7 knocked in. He's got runners at first and third. And there's a grounder over to third. 5, 4, 3, double play. Thank goodness. But in the end, Cincinnati's able to score 5 runs in the bottom of the first. We head to the top half of the second. It's Cincinnati 5, Xenia nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Name that tune contestant. What is your name, sir?
Your dad. That's a burn.
Anyway, let's start the song for him, shall we?
She's getting ready. Oh, love track by the Ozarks.
That is correct.
Ryan Bertelsmann will now lead things off for the Scouts. And boy, Xenia's got a lot of work to do tonight. In order to get back in this game, they trail Cincinnati 5-0. As we head to the top half of the second, Bertelsmann with a bunt attempt, he'll pull it back. Bertelsmann batting .327, no homers, and 12 knocked in. The pitch. In there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bertelsmann. Franzen, meanwhile, with the pitch, and Bertelsmann sends a hot shot down the third base line. That'll be headed into the corner. Bertelsmann racing towards second. He'll slide in. He's safe. So a leadoff double for Bertelsmann to begin this second inning. As the Scouts will now try to get get back in this game, trailing Cincinnati 5-0.
And Ryan, I've been saying this about Bertelsmann all year. He hit it to where it is pitch. He got a pitch on the inside part of the plate, and he just drove it down that third base line. It's a beautiful hit. Got that double. Very good job starting this inning off for Bertelsmann.
So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Boy, we've seen Tuttle bat up and down this Scouts lineup all season long. Now in the 5-hole tonight. .347 batter, no homers and 17 knocked in, although, boy, he has been in a real big funk lately as the pitch is taken for a strike. 2 nights ago against Hamilton, he struck out 4 times. Last night, he struck out 3 times against Cincinnati. That's 7 strikeouts in 2 games, something that we are not accustomed to seeing from Nick Tuttle here in 2018. The pitch, that's outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. So now Bertelsmann will take his lead off of second. Franzen, meanwhile, gifted a 5-0 lead here early on, trying to protect it here. As Tuttle waiting on the 1-1. Here's a fly ball. Lil Dinker. That will fall into left center. Bertelsmann will be held up at third. That snapped an 0-for-8 streak for Tuttle, as Bertelsmann had to hold up to see if it would fall. He advances to third on the play. Scouts now have runners at the corners with still nobody out here in the top of the second.
Yeah, and you got to love to see that from Tuttle. You mentioned how he was in a bit of a rut these past couple games, but there's nothing you can do about the past. You got to let it go and just worry about the next game, your next at bat. And that's what Tuttle did. Was able to get a base hit.
And here's a grounder up the first base line. Grounded over to first, and that's a double play. How about that? After going to the bag to eliminate Welch, the throw down to second from the first baseman Abbott was a beauty. Making the tag on the play was the shortstop Thomas Bennett. 2 gone, just like that.
And amazingly enough, they got that double play off without Burlesman scoring. So now the Scouts are in danger of leaving that guy over there on third.
So now Truman Brown will come to the plate. He'll swing and miss at the first pitch he sees from Franzen. 0-1 the count. So put that down as a 3-6 double play. And the pitch is down low for a ball.
So what I've seen from Franzen so far in his appearance here, he throws a lot of sliders, a lot of breaking pitches. So Scouts are going to have to sit back a little bit on some pitches and try to drive him out.
1-1 pitch on the outside corner for a call strike. 1-2 the count now on Truman Brown. Burlesman still sitting over there at third. Scouts trailing Cincinnati 5-0 as Xenia bats here in the top half of the second. Franzen will look in for his sign. He has it. Now he'll deliver. That's swung on and missed. Brown goes down swinging. And just like that, the Scouts' inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, and a man left for Xenia. We head to the bottom half of the second. It's Cincinnati 5, Xenia 0 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Fans, we'd like to welcome the return of Evan Good Chicken Tenders, located at 5102 Crookshank Road. Evan Good Chicken Tenders specializes in fresh and breaded chicken tenders, homemade sauces, coleslaw to die for, and the world-famous bacon mac and cheese. Select trifecta, quattro, and big dude combos, or cater your party with a quarter mess, half mess, or full mess of Evan Good Chicken Tenders. Evan Good Chicken Tenders. Real chicken, real fast, real good.
So now we head to the bottom of the second. Here at Max McCleary Field, we are located or coming to you from the campus of Western Hills High School, located on the west side of Cincinnati, Ohio, alongside Riley Harshman. I'm Charlie Danis. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network, and we're so glad that you could join us for some Friday night baseball from the Queen City. Okay, Riley, so rough first inning for not only Diego Quinones, but for the Scouts as a whole. How does Xenia turn the page here?
Got to forget about it first. Can't do anything about that first inning. It's done. The damage has been done. You just got to focus on what you can do now. And what Diego has to start by doing is those strikes, keep his defense involved, and hopefully they can try to come back a little bit offensively inning by inning.
Pitch down low for a ball to Sebastian Fabic. He got the scoring started after being hit by a pitch, became the first run of what would be a 5-run inning for the Steam as they'll foul it off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sebastian Fabic. Quinones now rocks and deals, and that pitch is down low for a ball, and we'll go to the backstop. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two 1 pitch. That's in their first strike. Now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Diego looks in for his sign, and now he has it. Here's the 2-2. This is going to be a grounder out to third. Brown up with it. The throw to first. In time. 1 gone.
And that's a good start because last inning, Fabic got hit by a pitch, and that's what started this big inning that the Steam had. And getting a ground out right there, seeing his defense make a play, that's going to help Diego build some confidence.
So now Marshall Gee will come to the plate. Gee walked and scored his first time up, and he'll send a grounder out to second. Zach Bacon is up with it. Throw to first in time. Just like that, 2 are gone. Much better start this inning for Quinones than last inning for sure. And now Eddie Persinger will come to the plate. He had an RBI single back in that 5-run first for Cincinnati. This time he comes up with nobody on and 2 gone in the bottom of the second. Quinones with the pitch, and that's down low, and oh boy, that might have gotten a piece of the home plate umpire on the right foot. Yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah, Diego's got to do a better job of hit. When he misses the strike zone, it seems like he misses terribly. So he's got to do a better job of, if he's going to miss, at least keep it close to the zone. You might get somebody to chase. And also, you don't want your catcher working that hard because Felix King's already done a lot of running around, and we're only in the second inning.
Count is 1 ball, no strikes on Persinger. Quinones with a pitch up high for a ball. You know, Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax, when he first came up with the Dodgers, this was still when they were in Brooklyn. 2-0 pitches up high, 3-0 the count now on Persinger. He had terrible control issues. Overthrowing the ball, fastball couldn't be located, curveball couldn't be located. And after working in the major leagues for some time, as Persinger earns himself a 2-out walk, Koufax then got the advice, okay, take a little off your fastball. Take a little off your curveball. It's still a pretty good pitch. Just take a little bit off your pitches and you should be fine. He then goes on to be probably the best pitcher of the 1960s. Goes on one of the greatest 4 or 5-year runs that we've ever seen from a Major League Baseball pitcher, and eventually earned him a plaque in Cooperstown. The pitch is down low for a ball. Now, am I saying that Diego Quinones is going to be the next Sandy Koufax? Probably not. But what I am trying to say is if Diego could just take a little bit off his pitches, you know, that might serve him well, you know, not only for the rest of this season that he has got left with Xenia, but also collegiately at Mercy College, as that'll be a single into center. A single for Bernardo. That puts Persinger at second. Runners at first and second with 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. Now Ryan Fernier will come to the plate. Fernier reached base due to a dropped fly ball by center fielder Cam Murray. Made the drop near the right center field wall. And Fernier was the last runner to score in that 5-run frame, that 5-run first for the Steam. So now he comes up here with a major RBI opportunity. Here's the pitch. That's inside. And it gets away from Felix King. Moving up to third on the play was Persinger. Boy, Bernardo could have moved up easily to second, but then he jammed on the brakes, stuttered a little bit, and he stayed put at first. Now he'll go down as a pass ball against Felix King. So now Quinones will set at the belt once again. And now he'll step off and throw over to first, runner back in plenty of time.
You know, you were talking about how Koufax had to slow everything down, you know, to find the zone. And it's what coaches have been telling pitchers forever. You know, it doesn't matter if you can throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball if your curveball drops a foot and a half. If you can't put it where you want it, it doesn't really matter.
Here's a fly ball out to deep right center field. Murray giving chase. It is off that tall right field wall. 1 run is in. That will be it. An RBI double for Ryan Fernier. A 6-0 lead for Cincinnati now. One of the interesting field conditions here at McCleary Field is that they have that high wall that basically prevents fly balls from going into the football field that is just beyond that right center field wall. I would estimate that chain link fence wall to go up about 20 feet or so. And actually just beyond that field, the high school football team here at Western Hills getting in some work during 2-a-days as football season, of course, is rapidly approaching. 1-0 pitch. That is fouled back to the screen. 0-1 the count now on Aaron Levy, who struck out swinging his last time up. So 1 run is scored in the bottom of the second, and now it is a 6-0 lead for Cincinnati, thanks to an RBI double by Ryan Fernier. Fernier at second. Bernardo, he's sitting at third. And now it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Levy.
You know, I hate to keep harping on this, but just goes back to the 2-out walk to Persinger.
As the 1-1 pitch is outside for a ball, 2-1 the count.
That 2-out walk, Persinger just scored on the couple hits that the Steam have been able to put together. You got to think if Diego can try to keep this inning 1, 2, 3, not walk per singer on 4 pitches, it might have been a different inning, but now he's in trouble.
2-1 pitch up high. So now it's 3-1 against Aaron Levy. Well, as of right now, we don't see anybody warming up at the bullpen for the Scouts. But boy, if Quinones continues to struggle here, wouldn't be surprised if we see either Zach Baker or Luke Borelson come on, as that pitch is in there for a strike. 3-2 the count now on Aaron Levy. Runners at second and third, 2 out here in the bottom of the second. The pitch up high. That was a walk. And now the bases are loaded. Now Thomas Bennett will come to the plate. He got hit by a pitch. And now Diego will get a visit out on the mound here from Felix King. The man that they call J-Mac. One of the many team chaplains that have come through for the Scouts here in 2018. He's out there on the mound talking with Diego, giving him words of encouragement. Boy, it's been a rough night so far for Diego, but let's hope that he can just keep on battling through here. It's a 6-0 lead for Cincinnati here in the bottom of the second. The Steam have the bases loaded with 2 out here in the bottom of the second. And, boy, they have a chance here to really break this game open, as if it hasn't already been broken open.
And I like that move by J-Mac. J-Mac and Diego really started a good relationship since J-Mac came to Xenia. J-Mac did a lot of chaplain work in Latin America, Mexico, places like that, and speaks a pretty good Spanish tongue, and that's Diego's native tongue. And, you know, when you get to hear your mother tongue like that, it's a lot more special, allows you to build a better relationship.
Pitch up high for a ball. Next pitch. And that hit Bennett in the back. Second time that Bennett has been hit by a pitch. And another run will come in to score for Cincinnati. It's now a 7-0 lead for the Steam. And now Jonathan Bruce will come to the plate once again. He walked his last time up. Bruce with a grounder over to first. And it gets by Eater. It'll roll into right field. 1 run is in. Another run will come across the plate for Cincinnati as Fernier and Levy score on that play. Mercy.
And Eater just kind of let that ball come to him a little bit. Those choppers, the more you let them bounce, those bounces can always be unpredictable. And the more you let it bounce, especially near the lip where the grass and the dirt meet in the infield, that's where you get that worst hop, and that's where Eater let it happen. Bounce right over his glove and into the outfield. So needs to play it a little better, but that's just another bad thing that the Scouts have done this game.
Pitch is up by for a ball. Well, that'll go down as an error on Eater. 4 runs have now crossed the plate for the Steam. They are now up 9-0 here in the bottom of the second.
And all 4 of these runs have been with 2 outs.
That pitch is up by for a ball. Very good point. Bennett at second, Bruce at first. Jacob Abbott now the batter. And he grounded into a 5-4-3 double play his last time up. 2-0 pitch. This is a fly ball out to center field. Murray under it. He'll make the catch for the final out of the inning. For the second straight inning, the Steam end up putting 9 runners at the plate. This time they score 4 more runs. We head to the top half of the third. It's Cincinnati 9, Xenia nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
They're both good. All right, toss it back.
37 and 26. Pitch by inning for pitches by inning.
Still alive. Throw it again, guys.
Oh, boy.
4 hits does not equal 9 runs in normal baseball.
What happened? Yeah, bad pitch.
Oh, there we go. All right, give it right to the spot, school winner.
We're heading now to the top half of the third here at Max McCleary Field. Cincinnati leading Xenia already by a score of 9-0. And boy, Riley, you and I were just talking during the break. It's not often that you see a team score 9 runs on only 4 hits, but because of the control issues by right-hander Diego Quinones and some really sloppy defense by the Scouts, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, nobody's really helping each other out when the Scouts take the field. Diego, he's laboring up there, but when you walk people, you allow those free bases, your defense gets less focused. They get less in tune with the game because they're just out there watching you walk people, letting people get on base, and then errors can happen when you lose focus like that.
So now Zach Bacon will come to the plate. He takes a ball inside. Next pitch. That's a strike. First time that Bacon has come to bat. And later on in this inning, we will reveal to you tonight's trivia question.
And then also with those long defensive innings, you're laboring out there defensively, and then you have to come in and hit, and it just doesn't really work out.
Pitch is on the inside corner for a call. Strike 1 to the count. No, it is not fun having to bat with tired legs. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled off to the right. Good crowd here tonight at Max McCleary Field. This was named after a longtime umpire in the Cincinnati area, that being Max McCleary, longtime resident of the west side of Cincinnati. As that is swung on and missed, Bacon becomes a strikeout victim. 1 gone. And now Felix King, the catcher, will come to the plate for the first time. And for the first time tonight, we introduce our trivia question.
So our trivia question for tonight is, which of the following greats did not win 3 season MVP awards? And your options are Joe DiMaggio, Roy Campanella, Stan Musial, or Willie Mays.
Here comes the pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Now those are some pretty impressive names. 0-1 pitch on the way to King. That's down low for a ball. So let me think here. You got Roy Campanella. If he had not had that automobile accident, boy, I think he would have put up some really, really good offensive numbers. Still a Hall of Famer, but, man, just what would have been. As the count now moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes, you got the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. So smooth, made playing center field look so easy in the pinstripes. As that pitch is down low for a ball, 2-2 the count. Stan the Man Musial, one of the greatest hitters in National League history. And who was the final guy?
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays to say, hey, kid. Doesn't get much better than that group. 2-2. That is inside, and it hit Felix King on the leg, so he'll trot on down to first base after being hit by a pitch. So now Cam Murray will come to the plate. Murray walked his first time up, but then he later became the first out of the inning after he got caught in between first and second. Just your garden variety 2-3-6-4 put out. So now Murray going up against Franzen here. Boy, as things really continue to cool down here in Cincinnati. Pitch is outside for a ball. Temperatures were around, the high 70s, low 80s, but we have the window open here in the press box, and it's starting to get more and more comfortable. I love it. 1-0 pitch. That's on the inside corner for a called strike. 1-1 the count on Cam Murray. King will take his lead off of first. The Scouts are trying to crack the scoreboard. They trail Cincinnati 9-0. The pitch. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cam Murray. No, you got to start somewhere if you're the Scouts. There's still plenty of baseball left to be played here in Cincy, but they need base runners. More importantly, they need runs.
And they don't need to score at all here in the third or the fourth. You know, you want to chip in inning by inning so you don't leave so much for just that last inning.
1-2 pitch. This will be a grounder to short. 6-4-3 double play. And just like that, the inning is over for the Scouts. No runs, no hits, no men left on base for Xenia. We head to the bottom of the third. It is Steam 9, Scouts nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the bottom half of the third. A 9-0 lead for Cincinnati as Diego Quinones remains out there on the mound for the Scouts. We have yet to see anybody warm up in the pen for Xenia, and we've talked ad nauseum about how the Scouts have been hampered by lack of pitching depth, injuries. So they are going to stick with Quinones, at least for right now. And so far in this game, in the first 2 innings, the Steam have batted around. They have sent all 9 of their batters in their starting lineup to the plate in the first 2 innings of play. As Fabic takes a ball from Quinones, the next pitch is popped up high in the air on the Scouts infield. Bacon under it, making the catch for the first out. Marshall Gee will now come to the plate. He has walked and scored and is also grounded out to second. He will bat from the left side against the right-handed throwing Quinones. Diego with the pitch. And that's in their first strike. 0-1 the count. Oh, 1 pitch. And it's down low for a ball. How about this? They're in the bottom half of the ninth in Saginaw. The hometown Sugar Beets are still down big. They're down by 5 to Grand Lake. It's Mariners 16, Sugar Beets 11. As that pitch is in there for a strike. If that isn't a slugfest, I don't know what is. Saginaw currently holding third place in the Northern Division, by the way, but they want to keep their hopes alive for a division title. If they end up losing that game to the Mariners, as that pitch is down low for a ball, 2-2 the count to Gee. Boy, that really hurt their chances with only 2 more games remaining in the regular season. 2-2 pitch. This will be a chopper. Out to Quinones. Diego with the throw to first. That'll be in time for the second out. Now Eddie Persinger will come to the plate. He has scored twice. Officially 1 for 1 on the night with a single. That coming back in the first. That was an RBI single. Followed that up with a walk.
And this is exactly where things went awry in the second inning for Diego. Walked Persinger on 4 pitches. Got to try to give Persinger a strike. Got to try to. That's the only way you can get guys out in this game. You got to throw strikes.
Pitch is fouled back to the screen by Persinger. 0-1 the count. Diego looks in for a sign. Here's the 0-1. That's inside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Well, sunlight's out, but the shadows, they are starting to creep in here a little bit at McCleary Field. The pitch outside. 2-1 the count now to Persinger. Two, 2-1. Outside for a ball. 3-1 the count now on Persinger. And during the next inning, we will get you the answer to tonight's trivia question involving MVP awards. As that pitch is outside for a ball. Persinger with a walk. Persinger with his second walk of the night. Third time that he's reached base this evening. And now Griffin Bernardo will come to the plate. Bernardo with a 2-run triple back in the first and then a single back in the second. The pitch by Diego. Here's a fly ball that will be dropped by Cam Murray on a sliding attempt. Gets by Murray. Motoring around third is Persinger. He'll come all the way around to score on the play. That'll go down as an RBI double for Griffin Bernardo. Make it 10-0 in favor of Cincinnati.
And again, that walk comes back to haunt Diego. Walk Persinger in the second. Persinger came around to score. Then right there again, walk Persinger here in the third, and Bernardo sent him in promptly.
Bernardo, a perfect 3 for 3 on the night now, and Ryan Fernier will now come to the plate.
Bernardo, a home run shy of the cycle here only in the third inning.
Here's the pitch inside for a ball. Well, we told you at the top of the broadcast that it was Southern Ohio and Cincinnati tied atop the Southern Division here in the GLSCO. As the pitch is now 1-0 the count on Fernier. Pitch, that gets by everybody, right to the backstop. And Bernardo will move up to third. That'll be scored a wild pitch. Cincinnati's up 10-0 here against Xenia. Meanwhile, Southern Ohio, they are up big against Irish Hills. Copperhead's leading the Leprechauns 7-0. And they're only in the bottom half of the third up there in Adrian, Michigan. The pitch, that's inside for a ball. 3-0 the count on Ryan Fernier. So if both these scores hold up, these two teams will still be tied atop the division heading into play tomorrow. As Fernier has to spin out of the way of that one. It will be a walk. First walk for Fernier on the night. And now Aaron Levy will come to the plate once again. He has struck out swinging, and he has walked and scored on the day.
It's just another momentum killer type of an inning for the Scouts. Again, 2 outs. First 2 batters gets 2 outs. Persinger gets walked. Bernardo with a big hit. Another walk here for Ferner. And now Levy up. When you get 2 outs as a defense, you want to get that third one right now. That you don't want to mess around. You don't want to wait. And now they're having to wait 3 batters later, and a run is scored, and there's runners on the corners. There's still trouble here for Diego.
Diego sets and fires outside for a ball. So 1 run in here in the bottom of the third as Cincinnati has continued this offensive onslaught tonight. The Steam leading the Scouts 10-0. Diego with a pitch. Outside for a ball. 2-0 the count. And finally, the Scouts will have someone warm up in the bullpen. I don't know. I think that might have been Sam Drawley heading down there. The pitch is outside for a ball. Now it's 3-0 on Aaron Levy. Boy, this is almost a duplicate of what happened last inning where Diego was able to get the first 2 outs, retire the first 2 batters, and then the floodgates opened. And now he has walked Levy again.
And that's also 8 straight balls for Diego. 4-ball walk for Ferner and 4-ball walk for Levy. You got to find that control. I don't know where it went. First 2 batters he got out pretty quickly, and now he's struggling once again. 3 walks this inning.
Thomas Bennett will now come to the plate. And Bennett has gotten on base the hard way. He's been hit by a pitch not once but twice tonight. As he takes a pitch inside for a ball. 1-0 the count on the Steam shortstop. And the pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count on Thomas Bennett. The pitch. Inside for a ball. 2-1 the count now on Bennett as Diego is now ramping up the pace with which he is pitching. I don't know if that's helping him or not. 2-1. That evens the count at 2-2. 2 down in the bottom of the third. The pitch. That is a called strike 3. Inning over for the Steam. 1 run on 1 hit. And they leave the bases loaded, do the Steam. We head to the top half of the 4th. Cincinnati 10, Xenia nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Pitch is inside for a ball to Chandler Chambers as the Scouts bat here in the top half of the fourth, trailing Cincinnati 10-0. That pitch is swung on a miss. Boy, to say that the Scouts have taken it on the chin tonight is an understatement. Meanwhile, Franzen with the pitch. 1-1, foul back to the screen. In just a moment, we will reveal the answer to tonight's trivia question. It's a very interesting trivia question involving Hall of Fame players and the number of MVPs that they won in their great careers. Franzen with a 1-2. That's on the outside corner. Called strike three. Chambers goes down. One gone. Let's go to the trivia question, Riley.
So the trivia question was, which of the following greats did not win 3-season MVP awards? And your options are Joe DiMaggio, Roy Campanella, Stan Musial, and Willie Mays.
Well, this is a very tough trivia question. Those are great players back in their heyday. That pitch is down low to Eater. He struck out swinging his first time up. I'm going to take a guess here. I'm going to say Joe DiMaggio.
You would be incorrect in that guess.
As that pitch is taken on the inside. Who was it?
It was Willie Mays.
Really?
Only won 2 MVP awards in 1954 and 1965.
That pitch is hit up high, over to center field. Fabic will drift over to it and make the catch. 2 gone. Well, upon further review, Mr. Harshman, probably makes sense that Willie Mays only won 2 MVP awards because there were a lot of good players in the National League. Now, Mays, let's face it, great player in his own right, but you're talking about a guy in Mays that had to constantly go up against the likes of Musial, Banks, Roberto Clemente. I mean, the National League for a long time had a cavalcade of stars. Mays with only 2 MVP awards during his Hall of Fame career. Widely regarded as the greatest defensive center fielder in Major League Baseball history. And, by the way, with Red Shandy's passing away, I believe Willie Mays now becomes the oldest living position player who is a Baseball Hall of Famer, as Burlesman swings and misses. Speaking of the Baseball Hall of Fame, they're going to be having their induction ceremony this weekend. That'll be a good time in Cooperstown, New York. As the latest class will have their plaques put into the hallowed halls of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Pitch taken for a called strike. It's now a 2-2 count on Ryan Burlesman, who had a double his last time up. 2-2. And that is inside, almost hit Burlesman. It's now a 3-ball, 2-strike count on the Scouts' designated hitter. Nick Tuttle waiting on deck for Xenia. The pitch. Inside. Burlesman with a walk. A 2-out base runner for the Scouts, and now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. He had a single his last time up.
And you got to think, Scouts being down by as much as they do, or as much as they are, Bertelsman's probably got the green light on the base pads. He's the type of guy who can turn a walk or a hit by pitch into a double of sorts with his base running capabilities.
And a strike taken by Tuttle. 0-1 the count on the Scout shortstop. Well, Burlesman has 22 stolen bases on the season. He has clearly exhibited speed on the base pass here in 2018. 0-1 pitch. That is in their first strike. No balls, 2 strikes on Nick Tuttle. A 10-0 lead for Cincinnati as the Scouts bat here in the top half of the fourth. Franzen with the pitch. Burlesman taking off as swing and a base hit into center field. Burlesman will go first to third as he will be safe over there at third base. That was a perfectly executed hit and run opportunity right there. And it puts runners on the corners for the Scouts with 2 gone. And now Graham Welch will come to the plate. He grounded into a 3-6 double play his last time up.
That last play there by the Scouts, I don't think it was a scheduled hit and run. I just think that Burlesman was going on the pitch and Tuttle found a pitch that he could hit and hit it, and just very well done there by the Scouts. They got what they needed.
Pitch up high for a ball. Franzen now quickly back to work as he sets on the mound. Here's the 1-0. That is outside for a ball. 2-0 the count now on Graham Welch. Here's the 2-0. That is a called strike. 2-1 the count now on Welch. Boy, Franzen, once he receives the ball, he looks in for a sign. He's ready to go. 2-1. Outside. 3-1 the count now on Graham. Let's see if Mr. Welch will get a pitch to hit right here. Runners at the corners. 2 gone in the top half of the fourth. Scouts trying to get their first run of the game. 3-1. And that's fouled off to the left. And we'll go full 3-2. Tuttle running on the play, by the way. And I would imagine that he'll be running on this very next pitch as they start to turn the lights on here at Max McCleary Field. Here's the payoff. Welch swings and misses, strike 3. Down go the Scouts here in the top half of the fourth. No runs, a hit, a couple men left on base for Xenia. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Cincinnati still leading the Scouts, 10-0 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Jonathan Bruce will lead things off for the Steam. As Cincinnati comes to bat here in the bottom of the fourth. A 10-0 lead for the Steam over the Scouts as Diego starts Bruce out with a ball. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's down low for a ball. Diego getting back on the mound, getting back into the left-handed batter's box is Bruce, who has walked in, reached via an error. The pitch. 2-0 pitch, hit into center field. That's going to be over the head of Cam Murray. It will go to dead center. And Bruce will race around second. He'll have 3, and he will stop at third. That will be a triple for Jonathan Bruce.
I've talked about many times on this broadcast of how hitting with it, when you're ahead in the count as a hitter, it makes you a lot more aggressive, and that's when big hits like that can happen. And Bruce got the 2-0 count from Quinones. Diego left the ball up in the zone, and Bruce just hammered it out in the center field.
So now Abbott will come to the plate. Grounded into a double play his first time up and then flew out to center as he fouls this one back to the screen. Won the count on Jacob Abbott, the first baseman. The pitch. Abbott swings. This will be a grounder out to second. Tuttle up with it. That's a high throw, but somehow, some way, Caleb Eater was able to keep his toe on the bag. 1 gone.
Yeah, good.
That'll
stretch.
drive in a run as well as Bruce comes in. Sorry about that, Riley.
It's all good. Good stretch there by Eater. You know, it's very hard. As a first baseman, ball comes first. You have to get the ball, but Eater there knew his body, knew he could stretch, get that ball, and also get the out.
So now back to the top of the order we go for the Steam. Jason Fabic once again at the dish. He's been hit by a pitch and he scored. He's also grounded out the third and popped out to short. Pitch is up high for a ball. This is already his third at-bat of the game, and we're only in the fourth inning. The pitch. That's on the outside for a strike. 2-1 the count on Fabic, the center fielder. Diego with the pitch. Inside, the count will move now to 3-1. Fabic back into the right-handed batter's box. Next pitch. That's on the outside corner for a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The next pitch that Diego will throw will be his 100th pitch of the game. The payoff. That's inside. That'll be a walk for Fabic.
And he's thrown 100 pitches now, as you said, and he's only threw 3 1/3 in this game. That's definitely not what a starter wants to do when they come out on the hill, is throw 100 pitches and not even get through 4 innings. I mean, just hasn't been that good of a day for Diego.
Pitching change is going to be made by Xenia. So Diego Quinones will leave, and a new pitcher will come in for the Scouts. Looks as though that it might be Zach Bacon. I'll tell you about actually, I take that back. Looks like it'll be Luke Borelson. We'll tell you about how Borelson's done from a pitching standpoint for Xenia in just a moment. Until then, we'll take a quick break. The Steam still batting in the bottom half of the 4th. It's been all Cincinnati so far, 11-0 in favor of the Steam here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. New pitcher on the mound for the Scouts. It's Luke Borelson, making his 3rd appearance of the season. In 4 innings, he has walked 4, has yet to register a strikeout on the season, a record of 0-1, and an earned run average of 13.50. It's an 11-0 lead for Cincinnati. The night is done for Diego Quinones. In 3 1/3, Diego gives up 11 runs, 8 of them earned on 6 hits. Struck out 2, walked 8. Now, yes, Diego had his control issues, Riley, but he wasn't exactly helped out by his defense tonight as well.
Yeah, 3 errors by the defense, that'll never help out when you're pitching, but ultimately Diego has to do a better job of throwing strikes. I can't say it any better than that. Is definitely a start he'll want to forget as soon as possible, but he didn't help himself out either. You allow that many free runners on the bags. You also throw some wild pitches to let those runners move into better positions. He didn't get helped out too much by his defense, but he didn't help himself out either, and it just wasn't a good day.
So now Marshall Gieb will come to the plate for Cincinnati. Fabic still sitting over there at first after a walk, and Borelson's first pitch is outside for a ball. So Diego still technically responsible for the runner over there at first, that being Fabic. The pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Marshall Gee, who has walked and scored, grounded out the second, and also grounded out to the pitcher. 1-1 outside. 2-1 the count to Marshall Gee. The pitch. This will be a grounder out the second. Bacon will throw, and that will be a double play. 4-6-3. Double play. That'll get the Scouts out of the inning. Borelson does his job there in the bottom half of the 4th. But one more run crosses the plate for Cincinnati. We head to the top half of the 5th. It's Steam 11. Scouts nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
You guys go ahead and introduce yourselves to the crowd. What's your name? And Marley's already got a game under his belt, so do you think you can have a different outcome this time?
No, our 10 or so into this game.
All right. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to put on every article of clothing. Once it's on, you're going to hit Micah's hand, and
Nobody left on base. Yeah, correct. So at least there's that. We're not. Oh, they got a new pitcher in 23.
Really? Why?
But maybe say. They have playoffs to worry about, so save some arms.
Playoffs?
I don't see him. I think it's Jake Cates. I thought it was 23. Is this Jake Cates on the mound?
Yes, it is. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. I thought I had it.
All right, I got
Congratulations to both of our players.
New pitcher on the mound for the Steam. Jake Cates making his 9th appearance of the year for the Steam out there on the mound. Normally a position player, but also sometimes used as a pitcher here and there. In 10 innings this year, 9 walks, 17 strikeouts. Comes in here with a record of 1-1. Does have 5 saves, and he has an earned run average of 4.5. So he takes over on the mound for the Steam, who lead the Scouts by a whopping 11-0 margin. That means tonight is over for the right-hander Alex Franzen, the Alexandria, Kentucky native. Ends up going 4 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Now, normally they would have let Franzen pitch a little bit more, but because of the lopsided score in favor of the Steam and the fact that Cincinnati will have some playoff games to play, Riley, probably a smart decision on the Steam's part to get Franzen out of there and give Cates a chance to go out there and pitch.
Yeah, this is the time of year we got to start thinking ahead a little bit. Playoffs, like you said, right around the corner. So you got to save some arms. And right now this team don't know if they're going to have that bye or a playing game. But either way, try to save some arms. Franzen's one of their better arms. We saw him pitch very well today. So now he'll be ready to go come playoff time.
So now Truman Brown will come to the plate, and Brown will take a ball inside 1-0 the count. During this inning, we will get you updated with scores around Major League Baseball. Here's the 1-0. That's inside for a ball. First, a postponement due to rain. Yankees were supposed to play the Royals today, but they got postponed due to the wet stuff. They will make up their game tomorrow as part of a day-night doubleheader over there in the Bronx. 2-0 pitch. This will be a grounder. Out to third. And no, it's under the glove. It will be an error on the third baseman, Bernardo, as Brown reaches safely.
Now batting for Xenia, the second baseman, number 20.
Just about to get started in Baltimore as they had a little bit of a rain delay there. Orioles getting set to play host to the Rays. They're in the bottom half of the 4th in Pittsburgh. As Zach Bacon comes to the plate for Xenia. The Mets leading Pittsburgh in that one 3-2. Bottom half of the 4th in Detroit, the Tigers up 2-0 over the Cleveland Indians. Cates, the right-hander, kicks and deals. That swung on and missed by Bacon. They're in the bottom half of the 4th in Boston. The Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins are scoreless in that game. Middle of the 4th in Cincinnati. Reds and Phillies tied at 2. Pitch bends in there. That's a curveball from Cates, and Bacon now in an 0-2 hole. Bottom half of the 5th in Miami, the hometown Marlins trailing the Washington Nationals 4-0. 0-2 pitch. This will be a grounder out to second. Hit too slow for a double play, so that'll be a 4-3 ground out for Bacon. 1 gone as Brown moves up to second on the play.
And Bacon did a job there moving Truman Brown into scoring position, but also that curveball was vicious on the outside part of the plate. Bacon did a good job of putting the bat on it, not going down via the strikeout.
Now Felix King comes to the plate. He got hit by a pitch his last time up. Jake Cates will set on the mound. And the pitch. That's in there for a strike. More scores around Major League Baseball. Braves and Dodgers tied at 1 as they bat in the bottom of the 3rd in Atlanta. They're in the bottom half of the 1st in Houston. Astros and Rangers are scoreless in that game. 0-1. And is in there for a strike. Going to the count now on King. 2-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Toronto playing the White Sox in Chicago. Just gotten underway in St. Louis. Cardinals playing host to the Cubs. No score in that game. As Cates will set and deal, and that is swung on and missed. Felix King goes down on strikes, 2 gone.
Mike Franzen, Kate's really relying on his breaking stuff, his off speed, and so far in his first inning of work, it's worked out pretty well for him.
Now we go back to the top of the order for the Scouts with Cam Murray. Couple more games on tap around Major League Baseball later on tonight. The Colorado Rockies playing host to the red-hot Oakland A's, who, boy, all of a sudden have really entered that American League wild card picture. 8:40 is the start time for that game. 10:07, the Angels play host to the Seattle Mariners. 10:10, San Diego Padres, they play host to the Arizona Diamondbacks. As the count is now 1-1 against Cam Murray. Cates with the pitch. Bounces up at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Has walked and also grounded into a double play so far on the night. The pitch, 2-1 on the outside corner for a strike. And one more Major League Baseball game to think about later on tonight. San Francisco Giants playing host to the Brewers at 10:15. 2-2. That's outside for a ball, so we'll go full 3-2. Truman Brown still sitting out there over at second. Cam Murray, the batter. 2 out. Here's the payoff. To the left. Cam now getting back into the right-handed batter's box. Waiting on deck, by the way, for Xenia is Chandler Chambers. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And it's fouled off to the right.
Fans, don't forget those foul balls. They can be turned into the concession.
The count will remain at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Cam Murray. The Scouts still looking for their first run of the game as they trail Cincinnati 11-0 here in the top half of the 5th. Jake Cates looking in for a sign, shakes off his catcher a couple times before arriving at an agreement. Here's the pitch, and this will be a high fly ball out to center field. Fabic under it, making the catch, and that's that for the Scouts here in the top half of the 5th. No runs, no hits, and a man left on base for Xenia. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Cincinnati 11, Xenia nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
This season's featured item, Tide Pods Laundry Detergent. There's no need to use a measuring cup. Just throw a Tide Pod into the washing machine and all your clothes come out clean and bright. This will include a bag of Downy Unstoppables for that extra fresh smell. Head over to the merchandise area and sign up for the Procter & Gamble giveaway of the night. That takes place in the top of the 7th inning.
When the song is played, the movie, I think that will screw up.
We're heading to the bottom half of the 5th. Cincinnati leading Xenia 11-0. And one of the key cogs in their major offensive attack now coming to the plate, that being their designated hitter, Eddie Persinger. RBI single, and then since then a couple walks. He has come around to score 3 times tonight so far. As the pitch is outside for a ball from Luke Boylston. Well, we talked a little Major League Baseball in the top half of the inning, sharing with you scores around the majors. As that pitch is swung on and missed. And boy, major story coming out of the Bronx as last night Aaron Judge the American League Rookie of the Year, big-time slugger for the Bronx Bombers, got hit on the wrist by a pitch. And according to reports, he'll be out for at least 3 weeks due to a small fracture in his wrist. Will not require surgery, but that just makes the trade deadline a little bit more interesting, I guess, for the Yankees, as that pitch is swung on and missed. Persinger will go down swinging for the first out of the inning. Now, the Yankees, they have already picked up the likes of former Orioles closer Zach Britton and Jay Happ, the left-hander from Toronto, to bolster their pitching rotation. Riley, the next question for the Yankees is, who do they go after to fill in for Judge for these next couple weeks?
They could go after someone to fill in for Judge. Mike Moustakas comes to mind. You could think you could put him in the DH role and move some things around for Moustakas. But also, I don't know if I would make a move because, Judge is coming back in 3 weeks. So I don't know if you would get rid of some people just to fill that void for just a few weeks span.
1-0 pitch is fouled off to the left by Griffin Bernardo. 2-run triple, a single and a run scored in the second, and a double back in the third, which resulted in an RBI for him. He's got 3 RBIs on the night, I believe, as that pitch is fouled off to the right. One name that was floated as a possibility for the Yankees if they so choose to go after it, Jose Martinez, first baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals are not really going anywhere. Martinez could be the type of guy that could fill in while Judge is out, and then could be a valuable bench player later on. This is a high fly ball, and that's off the top of the right field wall. It nearly cleared it. That is going to be a double for Bernardo, but boy, he hit the snot out of that ball right there. I understand why you have a wall like that out there in right field, because you don't want the ball to head on over to the football field just beyond that right center field wall. But man, oh man, I can't imagine how many homers have been denied by that wall, not only for the Steam, but also for the Western Hills baseball team here.
Yeah, definitely. That wall can definitely stop home runs, especially for lefties because of pole ball hitters. But Bernardo there, the righty, put one out there, and that one went pretty high up on the fence. Got to think if that fence is 3-4 feet shorter, that Bernardo's got himself a home run and the cycle, because that home run would have given him the cycle. But Bernardo would have to settle for a double.
Pitches up high for a ball. Kind of goes back to batters when they're playing at Fenway Park with that big green monster out there in left field. The 1-0 pitch. That's inside for a ball. One of the greatest what-ifs in baseball that's been talked about throughout the years. What would have happened if Ted Williams played at Yankee Stadium instead of Fenway Park, and if Joe DiMaggio played at Fenway Park while he was a member of the Boston Red Sox? As that pitch is popped all the way up. Foul territory. King will let it drop, and that is going to be a base hit. Felix King, I think, was looking for help possibly defensively on that play, but the help never came. As a result, the ball dropped. And now there are runners at first and second with one gone. That's a ball that needs to be caught.
It's a ball that needs to be caught. I think Truman Brown over there at third needs to charge in on that pop-up, because he's a catcher. He knows how hard it is to track those balls, especially because Felix, that ball goes up in the air. Felix has to get the mask off, look up, and try to find it. And, it's a lot easier to track a ball when it comes off the bat. And Felix isn't afforded that luxury, so you got to be helped. Infielders got to help you out a little bit there.
So now a 1-0 count to Aaron Levy, who has struck out and walked twice tonight so far. That pitch is up high for a ball. Continuing on about the what if. My goodness, could you have imagined DiMaggio hitting line drive after line drive off the green monster, and then Ted Williams depositing home run after home run in that short right field porch? Believe it or not, that almost came to fruition. This is one of the great baseball stories ever told. So Dan Topping, who was the owner of the Yankees, as that pitch was fouled back to the screen, by the way, 2-1 the count on Levy. Dan Topping of the Yankees, Tom Yawkey of the Red Sox, owners of those respective ball clubs, they got together for drinks at the legendary New York bar Two Shores. And they had a handshake agreement in place to swap DiMaggio for Williams, as that pitch is swung on and missed. Now, there were a few adult beverages that were consumed that night, obviously. The very next day, Yawkey and Topping get together once again. They reconsider the trade. DiMaggio stays with the Yankees. Williams stays with the Red Sox, and the rest is history. But again, one of the greatest what-ifs. What would have happened if Williams was a Yankee instead of a Red Sox and DiMaggio played for the Red Sox instead of the Yankees? That pitch is swung on and missed. That's the first strikeout of the season for Luke Boylston as Levy goes down swinging. 2 gone.
The shortstop, number 9, Thomas Bennett.
So now Thomas Bennett will come to the plate. That pitch is up high for a ball to Bennett, who has been hit by a pitch twice and struck out looking. And by the way, a little bit of a correction. That's actually the second strikeout of the inning for Boylston. Persinger was technically his first strikeout of the season. So good for Luke. There's a couple strikeouts under his belt now, and now he's trying to get out of this inning. Runners at first and second. Bernardo off of second. Fernier off of first. Here's the pitch. 2-0. Here's a high fly ball out to right field. And that is going to hit off the wall. It hit off the fence above the right center field wall. It'll be an RBI double for Thomas Bennett as Bernardo comes in to score on the play. It's now 12-0 in favor of Cincinnati.
You know, we said it. Luke Boylston is not really a pitcher. He's a position player, good hitter, does a lot of good things for the scouts. And another good things he does, he's a great teammate. Goes out there on the mound, puts himself out there to try to eat up some innings for the scouts. And he's no 90-mile-an-hour hurler or anything. He's just throwing as hard as he can out there, just trying to throw strikes. And, you know, it's almost like BP up there. So the steam can tee off on it if they get a pitch up in the zone like that.
The pitch is popped up. Foul territory. Truman Brown gives it a look, but it'll be out of play. Now, of course, we're playing here at Western Hills High School, the alma mater of former Cincinnati Reds great Pete Rose. Rose, born and raised in Cincinnati, all-time hits king, and you know about the gambling scandal that has kept him out of the Hall of Fame for all these years. As that pitch is grounded over to second, and it's over the glove of Zach Bacon. 1 run will come in to score. As Bruce will reach safely. That'll be an E4 on Zach Bacon. No RBI on the play for Bruce. A 13-0 lead, for Cincinnati.
It's kind of making me wonder, you know, the scouts have played on a lot of turf infields and obviously Grady's Field, all turf field. So they played a lot of games on turf this year, and this, you know, conventional field here at McCleary's has kind of been giving the scouts some trouble.
High fly ball out to left center field, and it will not be caught. And a collision between Chandler Chambers and Cam Murray. 1 run is in, another run is in. That will be, no, they're going to go for the inside the park home run. And it will be an inside the park 3-run homer by Jacob Abbott. They're now waving trainers to come out to the field as it looked like Chandler Chambers got the brunt of that collision with Cam Murray out in left center. 3 runs come in to score. It's now 16-0 in favor of Cincinnati. Actually, Graham Welch, is down.
I actually think Cam Murray's down. Welch and Murray collided with each other. Well, and they both were down for a second, but I think Welch just realized that ball had to be thrown in by someone because there's no one else really out there. So Welch got up and got the throw. So gotta think Welch is feeling a little better than Murray, but that was definitely a gruesome collision that I just saw out there.
You never like to see that, especially in a game like this. Kind of turn around that old saying, adding insult to injury. Well, you're adding injury to insult with a play like that out there, and hopefully everybody is okay as they continue to examine Graham Welch and Cam Murray out there. Jason Lester's out there. Meanwhile, Jacob Abbott, by the way, with an inside-the-park 3-run homer. Scoring on that play was Bennett and Bruce as well. Round of applause from the crowd. And it looks like Graham Welch is going to be leaving this ball game. Coming out to relieve him of his duties is Carson Wright.
That's actually Cam Murray.
Cam Murray, So Carson Wright will take over in center field, I would imagine. Well, actually, hold on a minute. Wright is going to right field, apparently.
And I think Chambers would move to center.
Welch will stay put in left. Boy, what a rough night it's been for Cam Murray. Took a couple of bad routes on a couple of fly balls that led to some run scoring for the Steam. Had a drop fly ball in right center, and now he has to leave the game because of an injury. So now Sebastian Fabic will come to the plate for the Steam. It's now a 5-run inning for Cincinnati, who is, boy, to say that they're running away with this game is an understatement. They're up 16-0. So Wright takes over in right field. Chambers in center. Welch remains in left field. 16-0 in favor of Cincinnati with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th, which has already been a 5-run inning for the Steam. Pitch by Boylston. Fabic swings and fouls it off to the right. 0-1 the count on Fabic, who has been hit by a pitch, has grounded out the third, has popped out to short, and has walked. 5 runs have scored in this inning for the Steam, and only 1 of those runs have been earned as that pitch is fouled off to the right. 4 errors in this game for Xenia defensively. Meanwhile, Cincinnati, they scored 16 runs on 10 hits. That pitch is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Luke Boylston. But 5 more runs crossed the plate for Cincinnati. We head to the top half of the 6th. Steam 16. Scouts nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the 6th here at Max McCleary Field. It's been all Cincinnati so far tonight as the Steam lead the Scouts 16-0. But we thank you folks for sticking with us here on what has been a long, frustrating night so far for the boys from Xenia. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. That's a base hit down the third base line. It'll be extra bases for Chambers. That'll rattle all the way into the corner as Chambers will motor into second with a double.
And that's a good start to the inning for the Scouts there, especially after what's been a probably their worst game defensively as a whole today. Chambers still going strong, starting it off with a nice double there down the line.
Caleb Eater now at the plate for Xenia. He's 0 for 2 on the night with a strikeout swinging and a fly out to center. Jake Cates, meanwhile, back on the hill for Cincinnati. Here's the pitch, and the bender is a little too high. That is a ball. 1-0 the count on Eater. Lights have been turned on here at McCleary Field. The pitch. And it's a fly ball out to right field, and the catch will be made for the first down of the inning. Well, I started talking about this towards the end of the last inning. We are here at the alma mater of Pete Rose, former Cincinnati Reds great, all-time hits king. Yet he's not in the Hall of Fame because of that whole gambling story, blah, 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 blah. Well, anywho, saw an interesting note, one of those this day in baseball history notes for July the 27th. That pitch is down low for a ball. Did you know, Riley, that on this day, back in 1984, while as a member of the Montreal Expos, a team that does not exist anymore, Pete Rose became the all-time leader in singles as that pitch is down low for a ball. Did it while playing with the now-defunct Montreal Expos. A couple years later, Rose would pass Ty Cobb to become the all-time hits king. As now the count is 2-0 on Ryan Bertelsmann. Bertelsmann now gets hit up on the shoulder by a pitch from Cates. So now runners at first and second for the Scouts as Bertelsmann will trot on down to first. That's the third time, by the way, that Bertelsmann has reached base, a double and a walk before that at bat.
And Chambers and Bertelsmann, two of the best base stealers on this team, both on the bags. Got to try to do something here when you're down 16-0. I wouldn't be surprised to see a double steal.
Strike taken by Nick Tuttle, 0-1 the count on the Scout shortstop, who was a perfect 2 for 2 on the night with a couple singles.
Even more of a reason to steal both these guys, get them in second and third, and let Tuttle hit them in.
0-1 pitch is outside for a ball. 1-1 the count on Nick Tuttle. Well, at the very least, Xenia looking for their first run of the game. They don't want to get shut out. The 1-1. Down low for a ball. 2-1 the count on Nick Tuttle. One out here in the top half of the sixth. Cincinnati 16, Xenia nothing. The pitch. Outside. It gets away from the catcher, and both runners will move up a base. On the wild pitch by Jake Cates. Chambers to third, Bertelsmann to second. So now it's a 3 balls, 1 strike count for Nick Tuttle. Let's see if Nick can get a pitch to hit right here. Cates with the 3-1. That is a strike. And now we'll go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff. Outside. Tuttle walks, and now the bases are loaded for the Scouts with still only 1 out here in the top half of the sixth. So now Graham Welch will come to the plate. Welch on the night has grounded into a double play and struck out swinging. Got a big opportunity here, however, with the bases juiced. Strike taken by Welch. 0-1 the count on Graham, the Texas native. 0-1 pitch. That is a curveball on the outside corner for a strike. Graham in an 0-2 hole. Cates with the 0-2. And that's a grounder over to first. And bobbled by the first baseman. Everybody will be safe. Finally, the Scouts are able to score a run tonight as Chambers comes home to score on the play.
I don't know what it is about this field here in Cincinnati where nobody seems to be able to field grounders that well. A couple errors for the Steam, even more for the Scouts, and it's just very baffling to see all these college players struggling with this conventional field right now.
Jacob Abbott not being able to field that ball cleanly as that pitch is in there for a strike. Truman Brown now the batter for the Scouts. He has struck out swinging and reached on an error his last time up. Scouts finally on the board, but still down by a bunch against Cincinnati, 16-1 to be more specific. As now it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Truman Brown. But, hey, the Scouts got the bases loaded. Still have a chance to put a few more runs up on the board. Here's the 1-1. That bends in there for a strike. Catches the inside corner. Pretty pitch right there by Cates as the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cates winds and throws. Brown swings and misses. Goes down swinging. 2 gone.
There's a champion drill strikeout, Kenny. We're zeroing in on 10 strikeouts. 2 more. There you go. To Walmart Nachos.
Zach Bacon will now come to the plate for Xenia. Struck out swinging. And he has also grounded out to second. Base is still loyal for the Scouts. 1 run in here in the top half of the 6th. But Xenia obviously would like to have more runs as that will bounce away from the catcher, but not that far enough. Did his job right there, just keeping it in front of him. Cates will make his way back up on the hill. Pitcher's mound really interesting here in McCleary Field in that it looks like a regular mound, but there's a big swath of ground right there out there in front of it, kind of in the shape of an arrow. So that pitch is down low for a ball. Sometimes, every once in a while, you'll come to a ball field where the mound is connected by a line of dirt to home plate. That was how they used to design infields back in the old days. I remember Comerica Park for a long, long time had that design up there in Detroit, the home of the Tigers. 2-0 pitch. That is a ball inside. So now 3-0 the count on Bacon. He was looking for his first hit of the night. 3-0 in their first strike. 3-1 the count against Bacon. Next pitch. That is a strike, and now Bacon will have a full count. 3-2 the count on the Glenville State product. Florida native, Zach Bacon. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bases loaded. 1 run in here in the top half of the 6th. And Bacon with a single into right center field. 1 run is in. Another run will cross the plate as Bertelsmann and Tuttle score. A 2-run single for Zach Bacon. 3 runs on the board for the Scouts. 16-3 in favor of Cincinnati.
Bacon coming up big again. Had that double last night that tied up the game in the 5th last night. And right here, getting a couple more RBIs, helping the Scouts bite into this lead a little bit.
Welch moves up to third on the play. And now Felix King will come to the plate. King hit by a pitch and has also struck out swinging on the night. King takes a ball down low, 1-0 the count. Beautiful horizon overhead with some clouds, some pink as well. King with a fly ball, and that will be caught for the final out of the inning. But finally, the Scouts are able to get on the board with 3 runs on 3 hits. They do leave a couple men on base. However, the Scouts still trail big in this game as we head to the bottom of the 6th. It's Cincinnati 16, Xenia 3 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Subway, Penn Station, Skyline Chili, Effin' Good Chicken Tenders, Champion's Grill, Nestle Purina, Cincinnati Rams Community Fund.
Yeah. It's a really interesting story.
Cincinnati season.
Hey, John, for edification,
Talk about if they score 1 more run or look at a football score.
yeah.
17-3.
The starting right fielder did go to center, and the guy that came in right went to right. Okay. No, that's fine. I just let you know.
Getting set to begin action here in the bottom half of the sixth. The Steam leading Xenia 16-3. This is Xenia Scouts baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Luke Borelson continues to be out there on the mound for the Scouts. Xenia's pitching staff has had to take it on the chin tonight. Diego Quinones gave up 11 runs, 8 of them earned on 6 hits, and only 3 1/3 innings pitched. So far, Borelson has given up 5 runs, only 1 of them earned, however, on 4 hits. He has struck out 3. Those are the first 3 strikeouts of the season for Borelson, as that pitch is swung on and missed by Marshall Gee. Gee has walked, and then since then grounded out 3 times, once to the second baseman, once to the pitcher, once to the shortstop. He swings and fouls it off to the left. Boy, wouldn't it be something if he grounded out to the third baseman? That would just complete the night for him in terms of groundouts. Of course, I'm being facetious. Here's the 0-2. Gee swings and sends a fly ball out to center. Making the catch is Chambers. 1 gone. Now Eddie Persinger will come to the plate. And Persinger was the one who became Borelson's first strikeout of the 2018 campaign. He struck out swinging. His last time up, coming back in the 5th. Luke rocks and deals, and that is up high for a ball. 1-0 the count on Persinger. Well, it hasn't been a pretty result on the scoreboard for the Scouts tonight, but it has been, at the very least, a pretty evening for baseball. As that has swung on and missed. After tonight, Xenia will head to Richmond, Indiana to take on the Jazz. 7:05 first pitch for that one. As the 1-1 is outside for a ball. 2-1 the count to Persinger. And then after that game with the Jazz, final game of the 2018 season, Richmond comes to Xenia. 4:05 first pitch. It'll be Fan Appreciation Day as that pitch is popped up. High fly ball out to left field. And Welch is under it to make the catch. 2 gone. Griffin Bernardo will come to the plate. And boy, Bernardo's had a heck of a night tonight. 2-run triple in the first. A single and a run scored in the second. An RBI double in the third. And a double and a run scored in the 5th. In other words, this guy's been flat out raking tonight. The pitch. And this is popped high and out of play. 0-1 the count on Bernardo.
Well, with the way Bernardo's been seeing it, Boylston does not want to give him an inside pitch because Bernardo gets an inside pitch. He's going to put a great swing on it, and fence isn't that high over there in left field.
Pitch is fouled off to the right. Well, they've gone final in Saginaw. Grand Lake defeats the Sugar Beets 16-12, dealing a major blow to the Sugar Beets' chances of winning the Northern Division in the GLSCL. Pitches swung on and missed. As the Steam, for the first time tonight, go down 1-2-3. We head to the bottom half of the 6th. Cincinnati up big over Xenia, 16-3 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
All right, like Brady said, it's time to find out who tonight's winner is. So Jared's going to reach in there and pull out a winner for us this evening. Mike Neplin. I guess we have a winner. Congratulations, Mike.
Hopefully he's got his do-rag on, too.
Well, that is his first.
Definitely a new pitcher. That'd be huge.
Change it first, Matt.
We all kinds of stuff.
Who's in right?
All kinds of stuff.
Oh, God.
First one.
Okay. Bryce is on the mound.
No, that's Cooney. Cooney's right.
Okay, folks. Okay, hold on. Okay, Babbage has moved to first. Okay. So let's see. Who is now in? He's waving, but yeah. Everybody else move around.
And the whole outfield team. Cruz is in left field.
Okay. Who is in Marshall's?
Abbott's a catcher.
It's going to have to be
Cooney?
Receivers in
What
center
number is
field.
Cooney, folks?
3.
Bernier. Multiple changes for the Steam. Headed up by the new pitcher from Middle Tennessee State University, number 45, Mitchell Price.
Okay, but you said so Bruce went to left.
Yes.
Who's in for Bernier?
Berger's in center.
Okay, so maybe Bruce,
Well, a whole lot of changes for Cincinnati. We'll start with the pitcher, Mitchell Price, making his 5th appearance of the season for Cincinnati as he'll go to work against Carson Wright. 1-0 the count. Price, in 7 innings pitched, has walked 14 and struck out 4. Comes in here with a record of 0-2 and a ERA of 15.42. Here's a high pop-up on the infield, and Price will make the catch for the first down of the inning.
Now batting for Xenia.
So now Chandler Chambers will come to the plate. Other changes made. Let's see here. Babbitt moves from center to first. Abbott, the first baseman, goes to catcher. Fernier's in center field. Cooney comes off the bench, and he's in right field. As Chambers will take a ball inside. In other words, a whole lot of changes, a whole lot of moving and grooving go around for the Steam here tonight. 1-0 pitch. This is fouled off to the right. One ball, one strike on Chambers, who has struck out swinging, struck out looking, and has also doubled and scored in this game. Pitch outside for a ball. 2-1 the count. We are here in the top half of the 7th here in Cincinnati. The hometown Steam leading the Scouts 16-3. As Chambers swings and misses at that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on the new Scouts center fielder. Chambers starting in right field, but moving over to center after the injury to Murray, and that's a called strike 3. Third time that Chambers has gone down on strikes. 2 gone in the inning. And they have a little thing here at the ballpark here in Cincinnati. If Steam pitchers are able to strike out 10 batters, the crowd gets free nachos on the house. So now Caleb Eater will come to the plate. He's one of the guys that has struck out tonight for the Scouts. He struck out swinging back in the first, since then a fly out to center and a fly out to right. He will take a strike from the right-hander Price. Joe Cooney, by the way, out there in right field.
So he's in Marshall Gee's spot in 2 holes.
That pitch is outside for a ball. Cooney takes over for Marshall Gee's spot, 2-hole. And that's fouled off to the right. By the way, for the Steam, that'll end the night for Jay Cates. 2 innings for the right-hander. 3 runs, 1 of them earned on 2 hits, struck out 2, walked 1. The pitch, that is a called strike 3. Another strikeout for Caleb Eater as the Scouts go down 1-2-3 here in the top half of the 7th. Stretch time here in Cincinnati. The Steam leading the Scouts 16-3 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
All right, let's send it down the field where Emma's getting us ready for the 7-inning stretch.
Yes, go ahead and stand up, stretch it out, everyone.
We are now heading to the bottom half of the 7th here in Cincinnati after doing a little bit of stretching. It is Cincinnati 16, Xenia 3. Assuming that this score holds up and the score in Adrian, Michigan holds up, there will still be a tie atop the Southern Division standings in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. Cincinnati leading by a wide margin here. Meanwhile, Southern Ohio, they are up by a touchdown over Irish Hills, 7-0 over the Leprechauns, as the Copperheads bat in the top half of the 8th. And that is swung on a miss by Ryan Fournier. Fournier with, 3 runs scored, a double, and a single as well. Like a lot of his teammates here tonight, he's had a nice offensive night. The 0-1 from Boylston. This is swung on and hit out to left field. I'll chase Welch back a little bit before Graham makes the catch for the first out. One gone. So now Aaron Levy will come to the plate. Levy started off this game as a second baseman. Actually, he's still a second baseman, excuse me. Still batting for the left side, though, against the right-handed throwing Boylston. Luke with the high leg kick, and that's swung on a miss by Levy. 0-1 the count. Boylston with the pitch. That's swung on a miss. Strike 2. So far, Cincinnati, 16 runs on 10 hits. Meanwhile, Xenia, they only have 3 runs on 5 hits. 4 errors in the field for Xenia, only 2 for Cincinnati. And the pitch is popped up high in the air. Boylston under it and making the catch for the second out.
Got to wonder how much longer Boylston's going to stay in the game. He's not a normal pitcher, as we've talked about, but his arm's definitely going to hurt in the morning. You know, you throw pitches up there on the mound, your arm's going to be sore in the morning, and he's going to be needed. His bat's going to be needed in the scouts lineup, and he's a guy who usually plays the field, and it's hard to play the field when your arm's feeling sore from pitching the night before.
Boylston with the pitch. That's down low for a ball. I got a couple other scores for you with huge playoff implications. First in the Northern Division, Lima leading St. Clair 3-2, top half of the 7th. Over there in our neighbors to the north, as that pitch is fouled off to the right, 1-1 the count. Both those teams battling for the top spot in the Northern Division. And then in Hamilton, the hometown Joes leading the Galleon Graders in that one 4-2, bottom half of the 7th. Those two teams are trying to secure that third and final playoff spot in the Southern Division, as that pitch is fouled off to the right. So there's still plenty left to play for a whole bunch of teams in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League, as we are now down. After tonight, we'll be down to the final 2 games of the regular season. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's inside. A little bit of chin music right there to Thomas Bennett with a double his last time up. He's also struck out looking and has been hit by a pitch not once but twice on the evening. 2-2. Fly ball. Left field. Welch near the warning track, under it, making the catch for the final out. Well, for the second straight inning, Cincinnati goes down 1-2-3. We head to the top half of the 8th. Steam still well ahead of the Scouts, 16-3 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the top half of the 8th we go. Ryan Bertelsmann will lead things off for the Scouts. Cincinnati leading Xenia 16-3. The pitch, and it's up high for a ball as the right-hander Price continues to be out there on the mound for Cincinnati. Now, one of the interesting things about Max McCleary Field, as that pitch is in there for a strike, among many interesting things, is that this is a high school field. And typically, in high school baseball, you only play 7 innings. As that pitch is down low for a ball, 2-1 the count. So therefore, the scoreboard has been wiped of all numbers. It's as if this game had started anew. Only numbers up there at the moment are the tallies that the teams have put on in this game through the first 6 innings of work. Cincinnati 16, Xenia 3. 2-2. That's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Bertelsmann goes down looking. 1 gone.
You know, something I don't think we've mentioned about Mitchell Price is he's 6'11", 220 pounds, 6'11". That's a very tall young man right there. You know, you got to think this guy could probably dunk a basketball. Also makes you wonder what he's doing on a pitcher's mound. Randy Johnson was a guy who's 6'10" or over. So, you know, that height with the pitcher really can help you as a pitcher.
1-0 pitch up high. By the way, how appropriate. Mitchell Price, he's from Mitchell, South Dakota. That pitch is up high for a ball. Talk about being a native son. Junior over at Middle Tennessee State. Price winds and deals. 2-0 pitch. That's outside for a ball. And one of the more interesting things that have taken place in a baseball game. Remember the right-hander Mike Pelfrey. Mike Pelfrey was a big guy, 6'10", 6'11". 3-0 pitch is up high for a ball. And Nick Tuttle will earn himself a walk, his second walk of the evening and the 4th time that he has reached base. Graham Welch now coming to the plate for Xenia. Well, there was one night in particular when Mike Pelfrey pitched against Jose Altuve. Pelfrey was 6'11". Altuve is a generous 5'6". At that point, that was the largest height differential between a batter and a pitcher in an official Major League Baseball game. I highlight the word official as the 0-1 pitch is fouled off to the left by Welch. He's now in an 0-2 hole because one of the greatest things that happened in a baseball game, Bill Veeck, great innovator, great entertainer, who was then the owner/general manager of the St. Louis Browns. He came up with this great promotion as Welch goes down looking, 2 gone in the inning. Came up with this great promotion. Got a guy by the name of Eddie Goodell to pinch hit during a game for the Browns. Goodell was a little person, and I mean a very little person. He had 3 aces on the back of his jersey. I think he was below 4 feet tall as the pitch is taken for a strike. Goodell was so little that he walked on 4 straight pitches because his strike zone was virtually the size of a bandbox as that pitch is fouled back. One of the more interesting promotions in Major League Baseball history amongst many in the long story career of Bill Veeck, who would later go on to be the owner of the White Sox, introducing the exploding scoreboard on the south side of Chicago, and, of course, the failed promotion, otherwise known as Disco Demolition Night in the late 70s.
You know, promotions are very key to professional baseball teams because, you know, your team can't be good every year. You know, putting butts in the seat in your stadium seats is very pivotal if you want to keep your franchise going. You want to keep the money coming in. And if your team's not playing well, you're probably not going to put butts in the seats. So you have to have promotions in order to get some butts in those seats. And that's what Bill Veeck was very good at doing.
And the ball bounced around over there at third as well as Truman Brown, is able to reach safely. That'll be E5. Boy, the ball has been booted around at an exponential rate here tonight by both teams. That's now the 3rd error of the game for Cincinnati. Xenia's already got 4. Mercy, we've seen 7 errors in this game. And we're not even through 8 full innings. As that pitch is taken for a strike by Bacon.
It has not been pretty seeing this type of fielding display put on by both teams on a conventional field, no less. This is what probably everyone grew up playing on. and it's very weird to see them struggle so much with the difficult hops.
0-1 pitch is in there for a strike, and now it's an 0-2 hole for Zach Bacon. By the way, just to finish up that note about Bill Veeck, Bill Veeck was also the man who was responsible for introducing ivy to the outfield walls at Wrigley Field. As that pitch is swung on and missed, Bacon goes down swinging, inning over for the Scouts. No runs, no hits, and a couple men left on base for the Scouts. We head to the bottom half of the eighth. Cincinnati leading Xenia 16-3 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Warsaw Federal Savings and Loan Association is proud to sponsor this season's team player of the game. Although a lot has changed over the past 100 plus years, much has remained the same. Today, Warsaw Federal remains a neighborhood financial institution committed to providing quality personal service. 2 convenient banking locations on the west side, the main office on Warsaw Avenue or in Sailor Park, plus our lending institution on 7800 East Kemper Road. Warsaw Federal has all your banking needs.
Amen to that. I cannot wait to sleep in tomorrow.
Come on, dude. Quick inning here. We'll probably have a quick inning on Wednesday and it's gonna be over. This nightmare of a game will be over.
Hey, but you know what? We had a little bit of fun talking about a little bit of everything.
Yeah, yeah,
At least I hope you feel that way.
yeah, definitely. It's hard to call games when you're ass kicked. It's hard. Not easy.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Cincinnati is coming back for the final time tonight.
Luke Boylston back on the hill for the Scouts as we begin play in the bottom half of the eighth. This has been a night that has virtually belonged to Cincinnati. The Steam leading the Scouts 16-3. Scouts scoring their 3 runs in the top half of the sixth, and it's been about it for them offensively. Meanwhile, for the Steam, as Jonathan Bruce will come to the plate once again. Boylston with a leg kick and the pitch. Bruce with a fly ball out to right field. That'll be a base hit. Second hit of the night for Bruce. Well, as I was mentioning, in terms of offense for the Steam tonight, 5 runs in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth. A lot of crooked numbers that the Steam have put up on the scoreboard tonight. And now Jacob Abbott, the former first baseman, now the catcher for the Steam tonight. He had a inside the park 3-run homer his last time up, as this pitch will be popped up. And it will now bounce into the stands. A little bit of a souvenir right there, although the patrons here at Max McCleary Field are always asked to return the ball to the concession stand for a special reward. So now Abbott will step back into the right-handed batter's box. 0-1 pitch. That's swung on a miss. He's in an 0-2 hole. Well, just beyond left center field, we get to see the high school for Western Hills here on the west side of Cincinnati. And just beyond the high school, I can faintly make out a full moon as the pitch is skied into center field. Chambers is up with it, and he can't see it, but luckily his right fielder, Carson Wright, is able to help him out as he makes the catch for the first out.
And those two are teammates out there, and being teammates, having that chemistry, that camaraderie with each other, you communicate better. And Chambers obviously communicated. They couldn't really see the ball. Carson Wright could. And Carson Wright took the initiative and made the play.
So 1 gone in the inning, and now Sebastian Fabic will come to the play. Fabic was in center field. Now he's over at first. And Fabic checks his swing on a pitch inside. 1-0 the count. Yeah, I can barely make out the outline of a full moon just beyond the high school. Clouds are still covering it up a little bit as that pitch is swung on and missed by Fabic. 1-1 the count. And let me tell you, folks, it is a big, big moon.
I was definitely about to mention that, partner. The moon looks a lot bigger than you normally see it when it's a full moon.
As that pitch is fouled back. You know, I could have sworn that I read somewhere that pretty soon we're going to be having a blood moon, if you're familiar with that, where the moon is red due to something going up there in the sky or something. I'm not that, I'm not that big into astronomy, but I pay attention to that stuff from time to time. 1-2 the count now after the foul ball off the left by Fabic. We did have a solar eclipse earlier this year. Ball, 2 strikes now on Fabic. The pitch. That's inside for a ball. 2-2 the count. Well, we will continue to get you updated here with scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. Bottom of the 7th in St. Clair, Green Giants trailing Lima 3-2. So those two teams are still trying to figure out who will win the Northern Division. 4-6. That'll be a force out second, following the ground ball by Fabic. He'll reach on a fielder's choice. Meanwhile, Bruce is eliminated at second thanks to the force out. 2 gone. So now Joe Cooney will come to the plate for the first time tonight. Takes over for Marshall Gee, who was originally the catcher to begin this game. 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. Cincinnati up 16-3. That pitch is up high for a ball. Cooney, a left-handed batter. No batting gloves and a lot of wrist tape. 1-0. This will be a grounder out to short. Tuttle with the throw, and it is not in time. So Cooney was able to beat it out. That was a jam shot out to Tuttle. Might have helped his case a little bit if he had raced in for the ball, but again, a tough play with the ball coming off the bat the way it did. And by the way, Joe Cooney, pitcher, that's his first hit of the season.
His first at bat of the summer, got his first hit, beat it out going to first. So now Cooney can say he's batting 1,000 for the summer.
Well, you know what? In that particular case, good for him. That pitch is taken for a strike. Eddie Persinger. Actually, Taylor Lane up now. Lane, he's listed as a pitcher as well. 0-1. Lane swings and misses, and now he's in an 0-2 hole against Luke Boylston. So how about this? A pitcher batting and a position player pitching. My goodness. If I've said it once, I've said it many times. Baseball is a funny game. 0-2. That is fouled back by Taylor Lane. Plays his college ball at Urbana.
And this is Lane's second at bat. He's 0 for 1 on the year, so he would like to get a base hit like his teammate Cooney just did and say he's at least batting 500 for the summer.
Here's the 0-2. Lane will pop it up. Foul territory and out of play. So the count will remain at no balls and 2 strikes. Approaching 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Also another interesting score out there. Hamilton leading Galleon 5-2 as they bat the top half of the 8th over there at Foundation Field in Hamilton. Another foul off to the right. Those two teams still trying to figure out who will own that third and final playoff spot coming out of the Southern Division. And oh, by the way, a game that is close to going final. They're in the bottom half of the 9th in Adrian, Michigan. Southern Ohio leading Irish Hills 8-0. 0-2 is down low for a ball. 1-2 the count. Southern Ohio was ahead by mere percentage points entering play tonight. It's the Copperheads and the Steam. Pitch is fouled off to the right. Now, for those of you wondering, Copperheads are going to finish off the season with Licking County, who, by all accounts, have had a pretty tough year. Cincinnati, meanwhile, after getting done with Cincinnati, they're going to be taking on the Joes, a team that is still very much battling for a playoff spot. As the pitch is inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Eddie Persinger. So Copperheads will be playing against a team in Lincoln County that really won't have anything to be playing for other than pride. Cincinnati, meanwhile, will be playing against a motivated Hamilton team intent on making the playoffs. Should be very interesting to see how the rest of the season shakes out, how the final 2 days of the 2018 regular season will end up here in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League.
And Taylor Lane here about to see the 10th pitch of the at-bat.
2-2. And that's another foul ball by Lane. Who says position players can't pitch and pitchers can't hit? Sometimes in blowout games like this, you get interesting battles like this. 2-2 pitch inside. So now we will go full 3-2. Three-two pitch. And this will be a high pop-up. It'll be caught by the shortstop Tuttle. And that will end the inning for the Steam. We head to the top half of the ninth. Cincinnati up big over Xenia, 16-3 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the ninth. Cincinnati looking to put the finishing touches on what would be a blowout win over the Scouts. Cincinnati leading Xenia 16-3. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Felix King now coming to the plate. He's been hit by a pitch. He has struck out swinging, and he's also flied out to left. He's officially 0 for 2 on the night. Scouts only with 3 runs on 5 hits on the night. Meanwhile, Cincinnati, 16 runs on 12 hits. The pitch, and that's inside for a ball. The 1-1. That's inside for a ball. 2-1 the count. Price, the right-hander, still out there on the mound for Cincinnati. The pitch. That's inside. 3-1 the count now on Felix King. Next pitch. And that's on the outside corner for a strike. 3-2 the count now on King. Payoff. King swings. Long fly ball out to right field. That'll be caught for the first out. Now Carson Wright will come to the plate. Wright popped out to the pitcher his last time up. Scouts will be back in action tomorrow night. We'll be heading over to Richmond, Indiana, as the Scouts will take on the Jazz. 7:05 first pitch on a Saturday night. And then the 2018 regular season finale, as Wright takes a strike. Sunday afternoon baseball in Xenia. Final home game of the year as the Scouts play host to Richmond. 4:05 first pitch. Come on out to the ballpark if you're looking for something to do on Sunday afternoon. If not, feel free to listen to our broadcast. Xenia Scouts on YouTube.com. So that pitch is outside for a ball. 1-2 the count on Carson Wright. Price, the right-hander, looking in for his sign. He has it. Here's the 1-2. That's outside. 2-2 the count now on Carson Wright. Hey, if there's a silver lining to what has taken place tonight. 2-2 pitch is outside for a ball. Licking County did lose to Richmond tonight. Jazz upending the Settlers by a final of 6-4. At the very least, the Scouts will stay out of the basement in the Southern Division. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. That's a strikeout, and the Scouts are down to their final out.
That was Price's 6th strikeout, and he's only thrown 2 2/3 innings, and 4 of those 6 strikeouts have been looking. So he's really been working with his breaking balls, really had the Scouts slumped. They have no idea really what to do with Price up there on the hill.
So now it'll be up to Chandler Chambers to try to keep this going for Xenia, as he will swing, and that will be a base hit into center field. His second hit of the night for Chambers. Officially 2 for 5 on the night. That'll bring Caleb Eater to the plate. Jake Cates would be in line for the win tonight for Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Diego Quinones in line for the loss as Eater swings and hits a ball into left field. That's a single for Eater. First hit of the night for the Indiana Wesleyan product. Back-to-back 2-out singles for the Scouts, and now Ryan Bertelsmann will come to the plate. Bertelsmann will take a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. If Cates ends up getting the win, his record will improve to 2-1. As that pitch is outside for a ball, 1-1 the count. And if Quinones ends up taking the loss, his record will drop to 1-2. The pitch, Bertelsmann swings and misses. 1-2, the Scouts are now down to their final strike. Price, the big, tall right-hander, looking in for his sign. He has it. 1-2. Bertelsmann swings and fouls it off to the right. And now we get a clear view of the full moon just beyond the left center field wall out past Western Hills High School. What a beautiful sight. Here's the 1-2. Bertelsmann swings. That is a single into center. They will send Chambers around the plate, around third, excuse me. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Ryan Bertelsmann. Second hit of the night for Bertelsmann. First RBI of the night for Ryan as Chambers scores. 16-4 in favor of Cincinnati.
You got to like this from the Scouts. Even with 2 outs, those guys are still going up to the plate aggressive, swinging at good pitches, getting good enough wood on them to get some base hits. And this is probably the most offense we've seen from the Scouts in an inning so far tonight.
Pitch up high for a ball to Nick Tuttle, who after struggling the last couple of games with a bunch of strikeouts has really rebounded nicely offensively. Couple singles, couple walks, and a run scored. 1-0. That's down low. 2-0 the count on Tuttle. Bertelsmann at first, Caleb Eater at second. 2-0. Tuttle with a liner right back to the pitcher, and that about sums up the frustration that the Scouts had to feel tonight. Ball game over. Cincinnati ends up defeating Xenia tonight by a score of 16-4. Riley and I will be back to wrap things up here in Cincinnati in just a moment.
First of all, we want to let you know that the steam return tomorrow night to Max McCleary Field. As talent shows coming to town for Fan Appreciation Night.
Back here at Max McCleary Field, where Cincinnati defeats Xenia by a final of 16-4. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Nance. Well, Riley, a night after we see one of the more well-pitched games for the Scouts, Sam Drawley and Owen Pyatt combining to give the Scouts a 3-1 lead. I think we saw the most sloppy performance by the Scouts. There's no way to sugarcoat it. This was just not their night.
Yeah, they did a complete 180 if you compare tonight's effort compared to last night's effort. It started out with the starting pitching. Diego just really couldn't find the strike zone, had a lot of walks, allowed a lot of hits. And this team were just, I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league, and they proved that today. You give them those many free bases, they're going to punish you. And it just didn't get better. I mean, Luke Boylston came in, ate up some innings. He did as good a job as he could. He ate up innings, and that's going to help the Scouts pitching staff in the final 2 games of the year. But ultimately, it was a complete 180. Was no real good positives to really take from this game.
Quinones ends up only lasting 3 1/3 innings for the Scouts tonight, giving up 11 runs, 8 of them earned on 6 hits, 8 walks, and 2 strikeouts. He is hit with the losses. Record drops to 1-2. Meanwhile, the winning pitcher for Cincinnati tonight ends up being Jake Cates, the native of Liberty Township, Ohio. Improves his record to 2-1 on the season. Final totals for both teams. Cincinnati, 16 runs on 12 hits, 8 men left on base, 3 errors in the field. Xenia, meanwhile, 4 runs on 9 hits, 10 men left on base, and 4 errors in the field. For my broadcast partner, Riley Harshman, this is Charlie Daniels saying one final time. The final score tonight from Max McCleary Field, it is Cincinnati 16, Xenia 4. So long and good night from the Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio.